This is inside the trench around block D. Details of the footing and the foundation wall. The foundation walls are coated with some black stuff, some kind of asphalt product, and the walls have been pressure washed. So what you see on it is sticking and staying, and this one doesn't crumble or wash away anymore, so that's solid on it. So that's the water that you see from pressure washing. Now, the team that excavated it tell me that the bottom of the old pipe was maybe just an inch below the top of the foundation, something like this. That usually doesn't work really well. The pipe has to be further down, because if it's only down here, then it fills up the inch, that 1 inch difference in elevation fills up real fast, and this is usually a cold joint between the footing and the foundation wall, meaning they pour this in one go, and then they strip away the formwork, and then they pour this. So after this has been set, so fresh concrete is being poured on top of previously poured concrete, and it makes a cold joint. It's not cold, it's not waterproof. That's why it's just called a cold joint. So if the pipe is at this height and there is 1 inch of water in it, the 1 inch of water can go into the cold joint. Usually not to the delight of the residents indoors. Typically the slab inside would be somewhere here, or ideally higher up, but if water seeps in here anyhow, it's gonna wet the underside of the slab, the basement slab, and concrete is not waterproof, never was, and there is no moisture barrier underneath the basement slab guaranteed. So that's how the old perimeter drain was made and laid out, and its height varied greatly, with huge sections being even higher and some other sections being just a little bit lower, but most of it was just about sitting at about this height. Very impractical height. Here we have the outlet pipe from the basement sump pump that was installed. The plastic was broken off, and it's got some very sticky iron ochre sediment sticking in it that the basement pump forwards towards the outlet, and the same red iron ochre gets deposited on the little bit of gravel here, and the pump pumps every so often, or squirts out some water and discharges some water here. That's what you see there. There wasn't a whole lot of drain rock. There is some drain rock, but most of it is just dirt. There is some very little drain rock in patches, but by no means is it uniform or even, or to a depth that amounts to much anything. Gas line is uninjured, is all well. That feature on the side of the wall is the intake for the gas furnace, fresh air intake. So that's how the trench here looks like. And you can see here the downspout for the roof runoff. Just follow it all the way up there. So the roof runoff was just discharged, and the perimeter discharge into the perimeter drain. does not have its separate drain pipe. Just add it to what was already saturating and seeping through the soil. More gas lines with more gas meters, no issues there. Here is another feature, the sump. It's got its lid on it and it's a couple of rings. It goes down and it has three or four cleanouts in this little walkway here. There's one, there's another one, there's another one. So I don't understand why it needs to have three, maybe a foot away from each other, but this is all coming out because this is nonsensical. Somewhere the water line is leaking somewhere. That's also why we have a little bit of water at the bottom of the trench around the building. Gas meter is all well there, no issues there. Clay tiles on this side. Yeah, very inconsistent, but this bituminous or this asphalt product, whatever the foundation walls are coated with, is all around the building. More clay tiles, more coating on the foundation walls, more plastic PVC pipes with the coated and rusty red on the inside with the iron ochre deposits. Not a lot of coating on this part. And an interesting feature is some holes in the foundation walls. Let me just show you the holes. The holes were just concrete missing or honeycombing at the first pour, or just cavity stayed in the pour, not vibrated out. One was repaired here. The extent of the excavation was there, and then sloping to that low point there, and then sloping up thereabouts, and then another vertical-ish line there. That was the extent of the excavation. A hole between the footing and the foundation wall right at the joint. There was one. It was backfilled with something, so that delights unit 26. Yeah, 26 it is, or delighted. So that definitely compromises the dryness of the basement. Over here we have the same coating on the foundation wall, and we have another hole that never was poured. There never was concrete there. That's just how it is. So any moisture that's higher than the where's my finger? There, that's higher than the footing, seeps in between the cold joint and the gaping hole of the footing and the foundation wall. So right there. And that one is on definitely unit 28. Yeah, now you can see the exhaust for the dryer. So that's on unit 28 side. And we're back here at the corner where we started.